Hey, this is Mandy here from Learning and Journaling. I wanted to quickly show you the high school section that we have here. We'll click here on Journals and go down to High School. And I want to show you some of the options we have here. Now, there are some here that are specifically for high school level, but I also want to show you how to use some of the other journals that your child might enjoy for, let's say, for instance, nature and animals. And let's say your child wants to do a project on this journal, but is choosing a specific animal. So what they can do, because this is generally primary school level, but a high school child can take this journal and combine it with something like the high school unit study. So let's say, for instance, the thylacine or Tasmanian tiger fascinates your child. How can you turn that interest into a high school level unit study? So you print this journal out. So this one has space for 3 different topics. So let's say this topic 1 here will be studying the thylacine. So here's an example of how it can go. So topic outline, you can write down here, or your child can write down what they want to learn about the thylacine. Some history about it, some recent observations, some past observations, where it was found, and they'll put together a project. So a media study. There are quite a few documentaries about the thylacine or Tasmanian tiger, so they can choose a media study. I don't think there's a movie on it, but there will definitely be a documentary on it. Watch that and fill this in. A research project, they might want to research the specific habitat or food source of the thylacine, or perhaps even what happened to them in history, how were they made extinct. Write down any new terminology that they might have found, an important person that may have been part of that. I remember there was a bushranger around that era that was, not even that era, I think it was more modern than that, in the 1950s, 1960s, was sent to Tasmania to hunt out the lost Tasmanian tigers. I apologize, I don't remember the guy's name now, I just saw it recently. Yeah, so any important person around, based around the topic can be used for that. Writing a letter, perhaps your child is convinced, like one of mine, that the thylacine is still alive, and they can write an official letter to a scientist or a museum to request of them some further studies. Historical event, this could be the lost or the capturing of the lost thylacine taken to the zoo. That's the black and white footage that is seen a lot on the media. And turn that into a full-on report, timeline of events and all. An invention at the time, maybe a cage that it was captured in or something to that effect. A fiction book report, I had a quick look and there are some good books out there about the thylacine, so a book can be chosen and fill in the reports in here. A presentation, based on the information you've collected, you can plan a presentation, and again would be of their choosing which angle they want to take it from, but there's lots of planning pages in there for that. They could map out where the thylacines were taken to, which zoos, from which country did hunters come, etc., etc. And just some pages for them to expand on any other sections. A science project, perhaps they want to investigate, so it doesn't have to be something physical to do with their hands. They can actually investigate the prevalence of modern footage that's been captured, and the outcome of presenting that to the bigger media places and scientists and so on as well. And yeah, just turn something interesting like that into a science project. Of course, it doesn't have to be that. It can be anything of their choosing. A poem or a passage. I had a look, and there's a lovely poem here by Martin Harrison. So again, I just Googled poem thylacine, and this came up. So they can read that. They can look at what other poems the author has done and write out their favorite section from the poem. And of course, if you want to take it further and look at parts of speech and all sorts, they can use these pages for that as well. Career study, this could be somebody that was a zookeeper or even a farmer that had the thylacine come and take stock and so on. Anything around the topic of their choice. An art project, again, anything around the topic, whatever medium they want to use, and they can just paste in the photos of that over here. And bibliography. And so it's fairly simple to actually create a full-on unit study from a topic or a journal that might not necessarily be high school level. So perhaps your child really loves cats, or really loves mystical creatures. This is all the science section. Perhaps your child really enjoys military weapons. How can you make that into a I'll just go to the regular PDF shop here. How can you turn that into a high school unit study? So there are some other specific new unit studies. Anne Frank's Diary, Schindler's List. These are both Holocaust topics. There will be a general movie-based unit study coming up very soon. That they can choose any movie and turn it into a full unit study. So there are some great options. Perhaps your child likes motorbikes and they want to study further on a brand of make of motorbikes. They can use the high school unit study journal to do that. And I'll just show you the other theme that I have here. So the one is the surfer theme, and this one is the kind of, I call it the modern theme. So there's just little figures all throughout this one. And again, it's the same layout as the other, just a different theme for kids that might enjoy something slightly different. So thanks for watching. This is Mandy from Learning and Journaling, and all of these resources are PDF and can be bought at learningandjournaling.com.